Hey all, Tom here with the Middle-Aged Musician. Actually driving home from the weekend, and it's actually been a fairly decent weekend for a couple of reasons. Number one, we survived the Thanksgiving holidays and so far unscathed as far as my immediate family. I know several others around have seen the spike in the COVID infections, and that's really unfortunate, obviously, for lots of reasons, but very important for us to do what we can do to help eradicate the theme on what keeping your hope and holding on to hope as we navigate some really tricky waters. And if you're a musician, you have most definitely been affected by the pandemic and how it has caused so many of us to be relegated to either very small venues with limited crowd capacity and or outdoor venues, which is primarily what I do. And in most cases, in a lot of cases, just the venues closed altogether. And so on top of that, you have loss of income, you have the loss of a way to generate buzz and things like that about your music. It has not been without its successes, though. I think a lot of us have found the beauty of online performing and collaboration like Facebook Live and YouTube, etc., which YouTube's always sort of been around and a thing, but now with all the home concerts that are going on and the online tip jars and those types of processes and profiles, if nothing else, it's certainly put us into an area of being more ingenuitive about how we get our music out and how we do what we do. And it also has helped in the realm of if you're doing a lot of home concerts and Facebook Live or those type of things, online type stuff, you're not traveling. Probably your equipment costs and things like that are a little less. Fuel costs obviously less as well. Of course, it doesn't come free. And if, in fact, we had to deal with this issue at our home, our internet has just been not really good, and so we actually had to upgrade, and that cost was exponentially more than what we were currently paying. But because my son it looks like their school is going to be online for a while, and it's really hard for him to perform his schoolwork well when there's such a lag in the internet and dropped connections and things of that nature. So some of it's just where we live, but we think the new internet service that we are going to take on will help with that. But that also comes over to the music side of things for upload speeds and when you're live streaming and sending out videos and things like that. It should be a great improvement in addition to the quality. So let me start off by saying first things first, don't give up. Obviously, we've been in this thing now since March. A few people started a little bit before. I can remember March the 13th kind of being the day that I realized, wow, this thing's really legit. As I was in Philadelphia, and the downtown streets of Philadelphia were, for all intent and purposes, were vacant. There were very few people out in comparison to what you would normally get in Philly. I recall even walking over to where Liberty Hall and to the Liberty Bell, and there were no lines. If you wanted to do something, the only lines that were forming outside the Liberty Bell were just where people were trying to stay physically distance away from each other. So, since March, here we are. It's December, and we have for 9 months been adjusting our lives, learning to live with a mask, wear a mask, keep our hands clean, which has been a nice benefit of this. Now our hygiene hopefully will go up, and not touch our face and all the other things. Probably if there's anything about this entire situation that has been less than desirable for me personally, it has been the physical distancing. I'm a communal person. I like to be in groups, and I don't like to be necessarily the center of attention, and I don't like big crowds all the time, but I enjoy the occasional trip to a football game or to a music venue or just hanging out with friends at a restaurant. There are a lot of things that, as communal creatures that we are, that I've missed. So I kind of pivot back to the very first point on this. Don't give up, and I haven't given up, and we've found new and unique ways to still be communal and to still do what it is that we do, both professionally and as a hobby and what have you as well. The second thing is with every coin there are two sides, and I alluded to this a moment ago when I said that the pandemic has certainly brought lots of not great things, but a few things have been better, and certainly that in the area of hygiene. I know it sounds like a silly thing, but I sort of fall on that spectrum of I don't really like to shake hands with people. I think other notables that have been in that realm were President Trump and Howie Mandel and some of those folks. But I've also been in that camp just because of how poorly people take care of themselves, and it's not even just people that are quote unquote dirty. It's people that go to the bathroom and then come out and they never wash their hands, and then they expect that you should be happy to shake their hands. Not so fast there. So I am totally fine with the fist bumps and elbows or whatever else. That all is okay with me personally. And so I see that as a good thing. And I also see the appreciation factor of now that we can't just easily get together. To me, it has made those times when you can assimilate with other people and be either in an outdoor space and feel comfortable with that. It has made those times much more precious to me because we have now come to the realization that something as, and I don't mean this literally, okay, but something as simple as a virus can very quickly take away a lot of the freedoms and enjoyment of life that we have and we often forget. This has always been true. You think about things like I'm driving, so a car accident. Just in a matter of seconds, your entire life can be totally changed. Or, you go to the doctor and you get a report that you certainly were not expecting. And just in a matter of a few minutes, our lives can be upended, and millions of people deal with this all the time. But now the chances of that seem so much higher and so much more real with the pandemic and with the coronavirus. So the beauty of being able to get with people now means so much more to someone like me and to a lot of others that really enjoy those moments to be with their loved ones and with friends and everyone else. And something else that's been good about the pandemic is I've really enjoyed having the online concerts and seeing this. And the people that are doing this are not what maybe some people would call me a hack musician. These are really legit great musicians that are doing this, and in most cases that I've found are doing it for free. So if you're in that genre, if you're in that vein of your elitists don't necessarily do online stuff or unless they're being paid for it, that just simply isn't true. I'll give you an example. I was watching, I think it was Facebook or maybe Instagram one day, or I was flipping through it and saw Jimmy Buffett on by himself with his guitar. I think his daughter was in the room with him, and they were doing some interviews, and he was playing some of his old songs and telling stories about it. And as I understand it, they have now released a CD or an album or a new release, I guess, extended play of songs that you don't know by heart. And the rationale behind this is he took songs that maybe we always knew, we sung, Margaritaville, Cheeseburger, those type of songs, but he gives the backstory, tells a lot of the information behind those songs. Who knows if this stuff would have ever happened in a standard summer touring schedule? Who has the time to do those kind of things? And definitely an artist like Buffett some of the other artists that are doing similar things, they don't have the time to do it, nor do they need to do it. They're making plenty of money doing things that they love already. So that's been kind of a nice addition. And then finally for me, the other nice addition to this is I've been, as I said at the start of the podcast, I actually have picked up some gigs because the people who normally would do these dates are having health issues, or they're concerned. There's just a challenge, they can't travel like they normally would. And so the venues have contacted me and said, hey, we understand you're still out and you're okay with being out, and with certain provisions made, of course. And I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm definitely. So I've actually picked up 5 new dates. 5 new dates going into the end of this year plus start of next year, and was just told today that one of the standing gigs that I have, which typically ends in December, looks like it's going to be extended year-round, and that's primarily because they meet outside, and the people don't necessarily want to be inside. So, like, excellent. I'm totally glad with that, totally fine with that. So don't give up hope. Continue to look for ingenuitive ways to just continue to expand your craft and what you do. And I've often found that the harder, I was told this one time, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And so the harder you work to continue to do what it is you love to do, those opportunities will come. It may not come in the way that you see it, in the way that you think it's going to come, but I'm confident that they will come. I will try to kind of round out the podcast with this as well. Don't sit at home twiddling your thumbs, thinking about what could have been, should have been. Take this time to develop and to grow yourself, reading, practicing maybe new genres of music. I have a friend that is a musician who, what he's doing is he's actually not working on the standard stuff that he usually does, but he's trying to learn new ways of playing music. So he's branching out into bluegrass, and he's always been really good at rock and rhythm and blues and those type of things. Very good at country, but now he's looking at bluegrass and thinking, maybe I need to expand into that area as well, because it's the one area that he's just never spent much time doing, because the type of venues and the type of crowds that he typically hangs with, that's not what they do. So this type of downtime is an excellent time to become better at what you do. Maybe experiment with the online stuff. I am personally it's not my thing. It's not that I couldn't do it. I'm very, very tech savvy. In fact, my standard day job, I work a lot of tech items. It's just, I don't see it as being where I should or could or want to be, but I'm considering maybe there are some private areas that I could do this in, and it actually work for me and work for the audience as well. So be encouraged about that. Join online communities and dialogue in that way. Maybe join some of these online visual communities where people are chatting and talking about fishing or boating or music or books or whatever the case may be. In other words, we are where we are, so let's make the best of it, do the best that we can, and to capitalize on the glass being half full and not half empty. Hey, thanks again for listening. For those of you who have subscribed and those who have shared the podcast and those who have sent messages, continue to do so. Appreciate it. Again, the whole thing about the Middle-Aged Musician podcast is just talking real about my journey as the aforementioned, as well as talking through some things that maybe will be of benefit to other people regardless of where they are in their musical journey. Be well, be safe, and if I don't talk to you before, I hope you and yours have a very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year.